So, the Mario movie is finally out, and there was one scene in particular that caught me by surprise. During Bowser's wedding, we get to see cameos and tiny appearances of King Bob-omb and King Boo. And that got me thinking, who's gonna be the next villain for the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2? So that's why today I will be counting my top 10 most likely villains to make some sort of appearance in the next Mario movie. So coming in at number 10, we got Fawful. Now Fawful is less of a well-known character, pretty much making his only appearances in the Mario & Luigi RPG series. Personally, the Mario & Luigi RPG series has always been my favorite sub-series of the Mario franchise. So I would love for the next Mario movie to really give out a few Easter eggs or characters from that series. And what better way to do that than have Fawful as being one of the villains. Maybe he's not the main antagonist since he's not as well known, but maybe he could be some sort of side villain that the Mario Bros have to face along their journey of getting to the main big bad of the movie or something. Unfortunately though, I don't think Fawful is well known enough to become a sort of mini boss or mini villain for the Mario movie 2. Instead, they could save that mini boss villain sort of role for number 9 on this list. And number 9 is the Wiggler. Unlike Fawful, the Wiggler has a wide variety of appearances in the Mario franchise, being a mini-boss in both 2D and 3D Mario games. He is a lot more well-known amongst the Mario fanbase. The Wiggler is a much more neutral boss, and he usually only attacks Mario whenever Mario has disrupted either him or his homeland. So perhaps Mario and the Wiggler could fight in the Mario movie 2 because of some sort of misunderstanding or something, and then at the end of the fight, the Wiggler ends up helping Mario in the game after he fully understands what their intentions are. But the Wiggler would only really work as a mini-boss. As for number 8 on this list, we're finally getting into the kings of the Mario universe. And number 8 is King Whomp. King Whomp is the first of many kings that will be featured on this list. And as the name suggests, he is the king of Whomps. This walking talking piece of concrete would fit right into the weird and wacky Super Mario movie universe. Although I will be honest, I do feel like there are plenty of other kings and plenty of other bosses that do have a bigger chance of appearing than he does. For example, number 7, Dry Bowser. Now with all this talk on who the next villain's going to be for the Mario movie 2, it seems that we've all forgotten that Bowser isn't dead. He's only tiny and imprisoned inside of Peach's castle. What's stopping any of Bowser's villains, whether it's a brand new character or if it's somebody we already have seen in the first movie, like Kamek or something, what's stopping any of them from going inside of Peach's castle, just sneaking in there, and then giving Bowser either a normal-sized mushroom or even a mega mushroom at that? I'm just saying it could very well be the case that Bowser ends up returning to be the villain for the Mario movie 2. And if that happens, then hopefully this time he ends up turning into Dry Bowser. I was honestly surprised Dry Bowser wasn't in this movie, so it would make total sense for him to be in the sequel. Or Nintendo could be keeping Bowser in prison and instead introduce number 6, Petey Piranha. Petey Piranha is one of the more well-known side bosses in the Mario franchise, being iconic enough to be a playable character in both Mario Strikers and Mario Tennis. If there's any other villain in the Mario franchise that can put up as good of a fight as Bowser, it's probably this walking talking plant. And adding him into the Mario movie 2 would be a good excuse for the creators to explore a brand new kingdom in the Mario movie universe. That kingdom being Isle Delfino from Super Mario Sunshine. Especially since we saw King Bob-omb and King Boo in the Bowser's wedding scene in the first movie, but not Petey Piranha. Perhaps this could mean that Nintendo is saving Petey Piranha for the sequel. Now they could make Petey Piranha the main villain for the Mario movie 2, or they could go with a more well-known group of bad guys. Number 5, the Koopalings. Do y'all remember number 7 on this list whenever I talked about one of Bowser's minions possibly sneaking into Princess Peach's castle and unshrinking Bowser? Well, what if it was the Koopalings that did that? Although for them, it may be better if they just launch a full-blown unexpected attack instead of trying to sneak in, considering how many of them there are. But if Nintendo really wasn't done with Bowser and wanted to add him back in here for the sequel, then adding in the Koopalings as well could really spice things up. Now if they do appear, I doubt all of them will separately get their own time to shine, considering how much of them there are and the normal length of a movie, but I'm sure with them all together trying to fight Mario and the gang, that would make for some damn good fight scenes. And they literally have the perfect reason to be added into the sequel, because literally Bowser is captured, of course they're gonna want revenge. And going back to if they do end up freeing Bowser from the cage, maybe they could actually sneak in through a big giant cake, just like they did back in one of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Not only would it be a cool throwback to that original game, but it'll also be a badass way to introduce all of the Koopalings. But for the Koopalings to work, I feel like they would also have to bring back Bowser, and if Nintendo wanted to leave Bowser captured for the time being, then they could always go with number 4 on this list. King Bob-omb. I know some of y'all are thinking, well, how can he be in the Mario movie 2 if he got blown up in the first movie? Well, there are multiple ways Nintendo could explain his reappearance. Maybe a different Bob-omb takes his place after he gets blown up. Or he could get rebuilt back to life by Bowser or something. But one thing's for sure, if he does come back to life, he is gonna come back to life with a vengeance. He will definitely be wanting revenge on Princess Peach for making him explode in the first place. This would be a perfect setup for why he's trying to attack Mario in the game in the sequel, and also I've just felt like King Bob-omb has always been pretty underrated, so I would love to see more of him in the sequel. Well, they could bring back Bob-omb, or they could bring back the other king featured in the first film. Number 3, King Boo. Now to be honest, if King Boo does make it into the Mario movie 2, I doubt he's gonna have that important of a role. Maybe he'll just have a cameo or two, pretty much there just to tease a brand new spin-off Mario movie about Luigi's Mansion. I would love to see King Boo at least make a little appearance so he could tease some sort of next spin-off movie where he has to fight Luigi. And then maybe we'll even get the King Boo design that has purple eyes with black shading underneath, since the design looked pretty different during the Bowser's wedding scene in the first movie. Speaking of which, we actually never saw King Boo technically die or get injured in Bowser's wedding scene. It just kind of cut off and cut to like a different scene before we see how King Boo tries to fight Princess Peach. So this could very well mean that King Boo did survive that encounter and would be appearing again, at least for a little cameo or something, in the Mario movie 2. Which brings us to number 2 on the list, Bowser Jr. Although there wasn't really any hints in the first Mario movie that Bowser has a son, Bowser Jr. would still be a really cool inclusion for the Mario movie 2. Like I said with the Koopalings, Bowser Jr. could be the reason that Bowser ends up escaping his tiny cage inside of Peach's castle, and we already had a post-credit scene that showed a Yoshi egg hatching, and usually in the Mario games, Yoshi seems to be the one mainly facing off against Bowser Jr., so there's genuinely a pretty good chance that Bowser Jr. may make his appearance in the Mario movie 2. But there is still one, or should I say 2, more villains that I think may be a better inclusion for this sequel than Bowser Jr. Last but not least, number 1 is Wario and Waluigi. This iconic duo would make the perfect character foils for Mario and Luigi. And with Peach's speech in the first movie about how there's many other galaxies and stuff like that, that would be the perfect way to introduce Wario and Waluigi. They're like almost like different multiversal type variants of Mario and Luigi, and just like be really cool story-wise. And we'd finally get to see Waluigi get the respect he deserves. I felt like putting Wario and Waluigi as only 1 slot on the list and not 2, because I feel like one of them wouldn't work without the other. Like, you gotta have Waluigi if you want Wario, and you gotta have Wario if you want Waluigi. Having only one of them appear in the sequel would be sort of odd, and it would kind of feel like something's like missing, you know. It would also be such a missed opportunity too if they didn't come as like a duo. Partners in crime, if you will. But But yeah, that is my list for the top 10 villains we would want to see in the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2. If there's any villains that I missed, or if there's any that y'all would want to see in the big screen, then make sure to let me know down in the comments below. And with that said, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.